Hey, this is Sully for Anti-Social News Body Count Report for Wednesday, October the 10th, 2017. And I'm going to be taking you around the world, showing you some of the world news stories where people are fighting for or losing their lives, because I care about human life. I don't care about opinion pieces. I don't care about politics. Just human life or death stories. So, moving on, we are in Spain. This is Irish Times reporting on the crisis in Europe there, with the Catalonia and the Catalan people trying to secede from Spain. King Felipe on the Catalan crisis welcomed toughness or echoes of dictatorship. The monarch offered no olive branches, only the threat of a bigger stick. Yes, so very interesting situation. Read about what's really going on with Spain and get it from a European perspective there. That's what Irish Times is good for. A distant view, close to the action there in Europe, but still very in the middle of the road. Very interesting story here out of India. Security forces brace for more attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. So we have Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, 3 of them killed by BSF, and this is, I believe, border security forces. So, hello. Okay, interesting. Got some royalty-free music in there. Now, this is violence that's been sort of ramping up this year in Kashmir and the LOC, so keep an eye on this story. We're of course going to stay. We always check Times of India. They have some slanted reporting sometimes, but sometimes they're great. Sometimes they're a great newspaper, you know. Okay, Iran, Turkey vow to halt Iraqi Kurds secession. Now this story just kind of pisses me off here. Look, it's Rouhani, you know, sweet Santa Claus looking guy here with his little white turban, because he's just such a great guy, you know, nice holy man, right? Guess what? Not a Kurd. You know what else he's not? He's not Iraqi. He's Iranian. He's not a Kurd. He's not Iraqi. So why is he chiming in? Huh? Why are you chiming in there, Santa Claus? Huh? You have nothing to do with this. Shut up. And that's not true. I shouldn't call him Santa Claus. Ali Khamenei is Santa Claus. Everybody knows that. This is Erdogan. Erdogan is also not Santa Claus. Erdogan is from Turkey. He's also not Kurdish. He's Turkish. He's not a Kurd. He's not Iraqi. He is Turkish. So why are these guys chiming in? Find out in the Jerusalem Post article on why they don't want the Kurds to have Kurdistan. Yep, they want to keep the Kurds out of Kurdistan. Oh man, Kurdistan. And also check some of the other amazing articles in Jerusalem Post. Body count report I could just link to Jerusalem Post with the body count report. I should make it to where you go Anti-Social News Body Count Report, and you just hit enter and it pops up this, because they are always in life or death situations there in Israel. Check that out. We're going to move to another Israeli news outlet that I like to source. This is Ynet News, and thank you, Matzo and the Israeli Forum, for sending me this link to this news outlet. Excellent reporting on the Vegas gunman and how he sent $100,000 to the Philippines. He also set up cameras, and I'm very excited about him setting up the cameras. I really want to hear more about what he recorded, because hopefully there's a manifesto, hopefully there's some clarification on why he did what he did, who his targets were, and how he went about doing it. Now, look at this, huh? Axon Flex, good. Axon product placement. If you're watching, Axon, formerly known as Taser, I would love to be sponsored by you. I've taken both barrels of an X2, so I know how your product works. I was a certified Taser instructor. Give me money. All right. Here's pictures from the 32nd floor. Why is there a window out here too? I don't know. Is this all one suite? Why is there two windows out? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Check this article out, and ynetnews.com. Great reporting on Israel, on the diaspora, on Jews around the world. Check it out. Great website. Moving on, we're going to move on to the Philippines, where the Las Vegas shooter sent all his money to, apparently $100,000. How did he get $100,000? Ex-Cagayan vice mayor killed in ambush. These ambushes are terrifying. Okay, now NPA, I like to cover that stuff. Manila Times reporting, and I always go to the regions section. I always find some interesting stories here in the regions section. But this stuff here with the random attacks from criminals against lawmakers and police are horrifying. So the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, wow, they are under attack there in central and southern Philippines. So check this out. Check this story out. Obviously, if you live in that area and you can help them confront bad guys, if you have any info, anonymously drop some info there that'll lead the police to arrests, because this stuff is bad. Got people dying every day over there. Ambushes, and these are not MPA. These are not New People's Army. This isn't Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters. These are just criminals. These are just people trying to make amphetamines and sell it to kids over there in the Philippines, and that's real disgusting bad guys. So and not to criticize Duterte, but he talked real tough about taking on the criminals, and then what we've seen is him taking on a lot of the low-level pushers, some corrupt cops, and a lot of drug addicts. But there's still a lot of these producers out there, these people who are actually making the shabu and getting it into the market, are still out there making their product, which is bad. It's disgusting. So, in other words, these are the guys to get, Duterte. Get them good. No more ambushes. Ambushes are bitch-made moves by criminals. Citizens left in the dark in power-starved North Korea. Now, this is a great story about North Korea and how disgustingly focused the North Korea government is on maintaining their weapons program instead of doing what they should be doing, which is caring for their people. They are supposed to be this communist utopia, and they control the means of production. They own all the land for making food, and they own all the power supplies. But that's all being diverted so that they could make their H-bomb. So it's really disgusting. No self-respecting civilized human could side with North Korea, and I thought it was so disgusting when when people were saying, "Oh, he called Trump a name. That's great. Trump's such an idiot." Okay, yeah, don't side with Kim Jong-un. Do you know what an idiot you look like when you side with a guy who leaves his people starving or dying without power? And, I'd like to point out, too, when the hurricane hit Florida, it wasn't the hurricane that killed people. It was being without power that killed people. 8 people died because they lost power to a nursing home. Okay, now, this power is life-saving. It is vital. And it's not getting to the people it needs to get to because Kim Jong-un wants to build an H-bomb. Disgusting. Togo, West Africa. Very important news story here. The State Department is on high alert over there because of the traffic that's going to be diverted due to protests today and tomorrow against Gnassingbé. So Gnassingbé's government is basically it's just a dictatorship. They have fake elections to put in the leader over and over and over again. When he died, his son becomes president because that's how democracies work, right? So people are protesting, and it's getting some attention. There's been some in all dictatorships, there's been extrajudicial killings. There's been suppression of other political parties and suppression of freedom of speech. So, going to keep an eye on Togo. Going to keep an eye on the protests. These people are putting their lives in their hands. They're putting their money where their mouth is by going out there and protesting. So good for them. Good luck. Godspeed. Stay safe. We will be checking in on this story. Also, go to africanews.com, read this article. This was their front page article, and I'm so glad to see that. People need to be paying attention to Lomé and these issues in the Gnassingbé regime. So, for democracy and freedom of speech, take a look at that article. Thank you, African News, for reporting it. Moving on to Vanguard Nigeria, reporting on Nigeria in the Ondo province. We are in Ondo to cause maximum havoc. Look at this scary dude. This dude is just nightmarish. Look at those dead eyes. That vulture stance of his neck. Ugh. All right. Bashir, 20, who claimed he came to the state from Niger Republic, was paraded alongside 11 other suspected robbers, cult members, and Indian hemp cultivators. Also confessed that members of the sect sneaked into the state to cause mayhem. So he's suspected to be a Boko Haram member. Now I'm glad to see they are taking this seriously, because I criticized Good Luck Jonathan back in the day for not taking Boko Haram seriously, and now it appears Buhari is, and I'm very proud to see that, very happy to see that. Not that my criticism matters, but it just bothers me to see a terrorist organization that kills children, kidnaps children, sells people into slavery, and conducts terrorist attacks is not taken seriously, and it's just looked at as, oh, that's just the people in the north. So yeah, check this out. Check out some of the other impressive stories that Vanguard Nigeria is posting. Also, they're where I get most of my Biafra news. So, moving along, we're back to an Irish Times reported story and some heartbreaking pictures of the Myanmar crisis. The people who have been forced to evacuate where they live and become refugees in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. So check out these stories. Very sad pictures of children and one stunningly beautiful picture of Aung San Suu Kyi walking off stage after delivering a speech on the Rohingya crisis. This is some Muslims under a tarp in the rain. You know, it's this is a burnt-out village here. Aerial view of burned Rohingya village near Mang Dao, north of Rakhine State, Myanmar. And this is a heartbreaking picture. Rohingya refugees who died after their boat capsized as they were fleeing from Myanmar are buried in mass graves just behind Inani Beach near Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. So Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh is apparently where a lot of them are winding up. You know, this is a horrible situation, but as a lot of the Myanmar diplomats and some celebrities are pointing out, specifically this Myanmar celebrity is pointing out that the Muslims are not just sad, dying people. The Rohingya militants have been fighting. There's Muslim people within the Rohingya population have been fighting the government. This is sort of a biased story because they just sort of write this story and put it out there today as if all this information is just kind of crazy, and she's accusing the Rohingya militants of fake news and claims they're the ones fomenting the violence. And this story does kind of try to make her look like an asshole. But she's right, though. And this story goes pretty far out of their way to avoid talking about the Hindu mass graves, because the Rohingya Muslims, these people who are in these horrifying or sad or just depressing pictures here, the Rohingya Muslims, and no, probably not this little guy here, and probably not this woman over here, but you know, maybe this guy were actually involved in ethnic cleansing of the Hindu population by all reasonable looking at the situation. It appears they were trying to ethnically cleanse the Hindus from their area. So the Muslim minority was trying to kill the Hindu minority living with them and filling mass graves with their corpses. So, horrifying situation. Of course, when the federal government of Myanmar steps in, it sparks more violence, and that's why the story doesn't bring that up. But I think it is good that celebrities such as this woman, the woman I just talked about in the last article, the beauty queen, Shwe Ayin Si, and Shwe Ayin Si, thank you for bringing this up, and I don't feel bad including a picture of her in this because it is topical. This woman is using her celebrity and her beauty to bring attention to the situation there in Myanmar. So once again, thank you to Shwe Ayin Si for taking a lot of flack. She actually had her beauty queen title removed for making her statement. You know, I'm all for freedom of speech, and I'm all for people standing up for what they believe. And that's why she wound up in the title card for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If I enlightened you to a story that you did not know about, I think I deserved a like. If I said something you need to correct me on, I deserve a comment. And also, if you want somebody to talk about something else, feel free to comment or email me, or jump on our Discord. Link is in the description below. As well, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing. This is Sully for antisocialnews.com, and I love y'all. I love human life. Stay safe out there, everybody.